The first thing I want to say is that I believe that taking personal responsibility is by far the most powerful position that any human being can take. No matter what your external circumstances may be, it is your personal responsibility to see and deal with those circumstances as you wish. And this is never more important than in an environment where you are choosing to feel offended. You see, especially if that offense, because even that word is subjective, you're only being offended if somebody comes at you in an offensive way. But if you're in an environment where words are being used or there are symbols in your presence, and you choose to feel offended, that is your doing. If you allow, for example, see, I live in the South right now, and there are lots of Confederate flags. People fly them in their homes. They have bumper stickers on their cars or on their t-shirts. Now, there are those who choose to feel offended. They choose to have a visceral response. They choose to allow their physiology to be changed. They become stressed out when they see this symbol. And I've even been asked, like, Elliott, well, aren't you offended when you see this? And that question is inherent with their ignorance about the choice of being or feeling offended or not. You see, there are certain things like words, for example. You know, I say the word fuck and shit, penis, vagina. These are words that make people very uncomfortable or gives them a visceral response. You know, they feel their physiology changing. Either the belly gets tight, the asshole tightens up, they stop breathing deeply, they become very flustered and uncomfortable, right? Well, you got to recognize that those are just symbols. They're just words. They're just sounds, vibrations in the air. Whether or not it touches you deeply is based on your ability to, or your desire to choose to allow that visceral response or not. I see a Confederate flag. I have no visceral response. I see it for what it is. It's a fucking flag. Now, there are associations with it, and I know, but why shall I delve into the associations with it, especially if I don't know the person who's wearing it or the person who's using it, right? Because that's inherent with all types of prejudice as well, right? To see a symbol or to hear a word coming from another individual and then to tie that individual to all the associations with it is a form of prejudice. I see a man wearing a Christian cross. It doesn't mean that he was a participant in the Crusades and believes that it was a good idea. Do you see? Just because he has that cross on his chest, shall I associate him with all of the negativity that may have been perpetrated on mankind because of his chosen religion? That would be wrong. That's pure prejudice. That's just as bad as seeing a black man and saying, "Oh, he must be a rapist or a murderer," because every time I turn on the television, it seems like those black people are always raping and murdering. Prejudice. You see something that you may be confused about, ask questions. If you become uncomfortable at a visceral level, that's your choice.